Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning, and something just felt off? Maybe you couldn't quite put your finger on it. Maybe your legs felt heavier than usual. Or your mind took a little longer to wake up than your body did. You told yourself it was nothing. Just a rough night's sleep. You got up. You made your coffee. You moved on. But let me ask you this. What if those little things, the ones we brush off every day, aren't so little after all? What if that stiffness in your joints? That fog in your head? That odd heaviness in your chest or your thoughts? What if they're not just part of getting older? What if they're your body's quiet way of whispering, hey, something's not right? See, the truth is, your body doesn't always shout when something's wrong, especially as you get older. It doesn't always come with pain or panic. Sometimes, it starts with a small change in the morning. Something easy to overlook, until it's not. And if you're like most people, you've probably said things like, I'm just tired. I'm just getting old. Or, it's nothing serious. But here's the thing, my friend. That, nothing serious, could be your first clue. A warning sign. A signal from your body that needs to be heard before it gets louder, and harder to treat. Because those early morning symptoms, they're often the first signs of something deeper, something that could affect your heart, your brain, your balance, even your safety. That's why today's video is so important. We're going to talk about 5 subtle morning symptoms that seem harmless on the surface, but could actually be signs of something serious underneath. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look out for, not just in yourself, but maybe in your spouse, your neighbor, or someone you love. And I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to prepare you. Because knowledge is power. And when it comes to your health, early knowledge is everything. So do this for yourself, and for the people who care about you, stick with me to the end. You might just catch something in time, and change a life. Maybe even save one. And before we dive in, I want to know, are you someone who believes it's never too late to care, to learn, or to act? If that's you, go ahead and comment, I'm here, down below. Let's show each other we're paying attention. That we're showing up, for ourselves and for each other. And hey, if this kind of video matters to you, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. We're building a caring community here, one where every year of life is met with dignity, awareness, and heart. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first sign, one that many people don't notice until it's been happening for a while. Morning confusion. Disorientation. Feeling off the moment you wake up. Now, I want you to picture this. You open your eyes, and the room looks familiar. But somehow, it feels distant. You reach for your glasses, but forget where you left them. You look at the clock, and for a few seconds, you can't remember what day it is. You sit on the edge of the bed, wondering, did I already take my pills today, or not? Maybe it passes quickly. Maybe you shake it off and go about your morning. But what if this happens more than once? What if it becomes a regular part of your routine, those foggy, uncertain few minutes that keep stretching longer and longer? It's easy to say, oh, I'm just tired. Or, it's nothing, I'm getting older. But I want to tell you something gently, and honestly. It could be more than just tiredness. Morning confusion is often one of the earliest, quietest signs of cognitive decline. That might sound scary, I know. But it doesn't mean dementia or Alzheimer's, it can mean your brain is asking for help. See, during sleep, our brains go through a reset. We clear out toxins, we sort through memories, and we restore balance. But when that process gets interrupted, whether by poor sleep, medication side effects, or early changes in brain function, it can show up first thing in the morning as confusion or disorientation. And here's the part that often goes unnoticed. Sometimes it's not confusion like forgetting your name or where you live. It's small things. Like not knowing if it's Tuesday or Thursday. or forgetting the order of your morning routine, or needing extra time to get your thoughts together. Now, a lot of families see this and say, "Oh, they're just waking up slow. Give them a minute." But if it happens frequently, not just once or twice after a restless night, it's a sign worth paying attention to. It doesn't mean panic. It means awareness. Because the sooner you notice these shifts, the sooner you can do something about them. Sometimes it's as simple as adjusting a medication that's causing brain fog. Sometimes it's sleep apnea, or blood sugar issues. Sometimes it's the very early stage of something deeper, but still manageable with the right care. So, what can you do? Start small. Try keeping a whiteboard or a calendar near the bed, where the date is written clearly each morning. Some people even include a few notes, like, "Today is Thursday. Your daughter is visiting this afternoon." It's not childish. It's supportive. It gives your mind something solid to anchor to first thing in the morning. Another tip: keep a calm, predictable morning routine. Get up at the same time. Start your day slowly. Avoid loud noise or rushing around. And if confusion keeps happening, talk to your doctor, not just about memory, but also about any medications, sleep quality, or other recent changes. Because you deserve mornings that feel clear, grounded, safe. And if you're helping someone else through this, know that your patience and consistency are more powerful than you realize. Now, confusion isn't the only thing that can sneak into your mornings. Sometimes, it's the silence that speaks the loudest. Let's talk about the next subtle sign, those quiet mornings where someone suddenly withdraws. They're not confused, they're just not quite there. Withdrawal. Picture this. Your grandfather, who used to start every morning with a cheerful, "Good morning," and a joke about the weather, now sits at the breakfast table in silence. He's not reading the paper. He's not reaching for his favorite mug. He just stares out the window, lost in his own world. No anger. No complaints. Just quiet. And you wonder, is he just tired today? Did he not sleep well? But then it happens again. And again. The smiles get fewer. The conversations get shorter. And you can feel it, that something has changed. This kind of morning withdrawal is one of those signs that's easy to miss, because it looks so gentle. So harmless. But here's what you need to know. Sudden mood changes in the morning, especially in older adults, can be the early signs of depression. They can also hint at early dementia, where emotional regulation starts to shift. Or even Parkinson's disease, where mood symptoms sometimes appear before physical ones. Yes, long before the tremors or the stiffness, the brain starts to shift. And sometimes, it shows up in the way someone feels, not just how they move. Now, here's the tricky part. Most families see this and think, "Oh, he's just not a morning person today." Or, "She must have had a bad dream." We brush it off. We give space. We wait for them to snap out of it. But what if they don't? What if that silence is your loved one trying to say something, without having the words? Because depression in older adults doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes, it's just stillness. A loss of interest. A quiet withdrawal from the little things that once brought joy. Morning walks, chatting about the news, even choosing what to wear. So, what can you do? First, observe the pattern. Is it happening a few days a week? Has it been going on for more than a couple of weeks? Then, check in gently. Not with, "What's wrong with you today?" But maybe, "You've been a little quieter in the mornings lately, how are you feeling?" Just open the door. They may not walk through it right away, but they'll know someone cares. And here's a simple tool that can help. Morning journaling. Even a few minutes of writing, or drawing, if words are hard, can help process emotions that feel stuck. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just a notebook and a pen. Some people even respond well to soft music, a warm cup of tea, or a short walk in the morning light. Little routines that reconnect them to the world outside, and the one inside. And if the withdrawal continues, don't hesitate to talk to a doctor. Because emotional health matters just as much as physical health. And it's never too late to feel better, to feel seen, to feel whole. Now, speaking of physical health. Sometimes, it's not what's said, or left unsaid, that gives us a clue. Sometimes, it's the way the body moves, or struggles to move, that tells the deeper story. Let's talk about that. Because stiffness or slowness in the morning can be more than just aging joints. And we're going to uncover why. That deep, heavy morning stiffness. Like your body turned into stone overnight. Like every joint suddenly forgot how to bend, and every step from the bed feels like climbing a mountain. Maybe you've noticed it in yourself. Or maybe it's someone you love, a parent, a partner, taking longer and longer to get going in the morning. They sit on the edge of the bed for a few extra minutes. They stretch their neck, roll their shoulders, and rub their knees before even thinking about standing up. You watch them shuffle slowly to the bathroom, gripping the wall or leaning on furniture, like they've aged 10 years overnight. And sure, we've all joked about feeling rusty in the morning. But what if that rust is actually a red flag? Because here's the truth, while a little stiffness can be normal as we age, prolonged or severe morning stiffness, especially if it improves later in the day, could point to something more serious going on beneath the surface. We're talking about inflammatory arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. Or autoimmune conditions, where the body's own immune system starts attacking the joints. Even something like poor circulation, which can restrict blood flow during the night and leave the body feeling cold, slow, and stiff in the morning. You see, while age may play a role in how our joints feel, aging alone doesn't cause extreme stiffness that lasts hours into the day. So when you, or someone you care about, starts moving like every joint has locked up, especially first thing in the morning, that's a sign worth listening to. But here's the common mistake. People shrug it off. They say, it's just part of getting older. They chalk it up to sleeping in the wrong position. They think it's normal, and ignore it. And that's when something that might be manageable starts growing into something that interferes with daily life. So, what can you actually do about it? Well, first, start before you even get out of bed. Try a few gentle stretches. Rotate your ankles. Wiggle your fingers. Pull your knees gently toward your chest. Let your body know it's time to wake up, before you ask it to carry your weight. A warm compress or heating pad can also make a big difference. Place it on the lower back, the knees, or any joints that feel especially stiff. The warmth encourages blood flow and can loosen those joints up so the first steps of the day aren't so painful. And then, pay attention. If the stiffness continues, or worsens over time, don't wait. Talk to a doctor or a specialist. They might check for inflammatory markers, review medications, or even suggest physical therapy, small changes that can bring big relief. Because nobody deserves to start their day in pain. And even though stiffness is common, it's not something you have to accept as your new normal. Now, let me ask you this. What if the stiffness isn't the only thing slowing you down in the morning? What if, even after a full night's sleep, you still wake up feeling like you ran a marathon? Let's talk about the next sign, morning fatigue that doesn't make sense. Because when rest doesn't feel like rest, something deeper might be draining your energy. It's more than just tiredness. It's that heavy kind of morning fatigue, the kind that clings to your bones like wet clothes. You open your eyes, and instead of feeling rested, you feel like you've just finished running a marathon. Your limbs are heavy. Your brain feels foggy. Even sitting up feels like too much effort. And you think to yourself, but I went to bed on time. I should feel better than this. Maybe this happens once in a while, and that's normal. But if it starts happening more often than not, if you or someone you love is waking up feeling exhausted day after day, that's when it's time to pause and take a closer look. Because morning fatigue isn't always about how long you slept. It's often about how well you slept, and what your body was doing while you were asleep. And here's where the science comes in. Persistent fatigue in the morning can be linked to conditions like sleep apnea, where breathing stops and starts throughout the night without you even realizing it. The brain and body never get the full rest they need, and by morning, you're running on empty. It could also point to heart problems, where the heart isn't pumping efficiently, so your body doesn't get enough oxygen at night. Or thyroid issues, where hormone imbalances mess with your metabolism and energy levels. All of these conditions can quietly rob your energy, night after night, leaving you wiped out by sunrise. Now here's the mistake many people make. They assume, I'm just getting older, of course I'm tired. Or, maybe I didn't sleep in the right position. They blame it on the mattress, or a noisy neighbor, or stress. And while those things can affect sleep, when fatigue becomes chronic, when it starts interfering with your mornings and your motivation, it's not something to brush off. So, what can you do? Start with awareness. Keep a simple sleep journal next to your bed. Each morning, jot down how you slept, how you feel, and whether you woke up during the night. Over a few weeks, patterns will begin to appear. You might notice you're waking up tired even after 8 hours in bed. Or that your partner hears you snoring, gasping, or tossing and turning more than usual. Those little clues can be incredibly important. And if your fatigue isn't improving with better bedtime routines, like turning off screens, limiting caffeine, or going to bed at the same time each night, then it's time to talk to your doctor. They may recommend a sleep study, a blood test, or other simple checks to uncover what's happening behind the scenes. Because energy is life. And when your mornings start in a state of exhaustion, it can affect everything, from your mood to your memory to your mobility. You deserve to wake up recharged, not defeated. And if something's stealing your rest, it's worth finding out what. Now, let's turn our attention to one more subtle symptom. One that's often overlooked, because it's so easy to write off as just aging. But when your vision changes suddenly in the morning, or feels blurry, shaky, or even double, it could be a warning you shouldn't ignore. Let's talk about that, because your eyes might be telling you more than you think. You open your eyes, and everything seems just a little off. Not completely dark, not gone, just dim. Like you're looking through a foggy window. The room feels unfamiliar. The light is there, but it doesn't feel clear. So, you blink. You rub your eyes. Maybe you think, I just need a minute. And sure, it clears up sometimes. But what if it doesn't? What if this starts happening more often, every morning, a layer of blur between you and the world? You may not realize it, but your vision in the morning can tell you a lot about your health. Let's break it down. Morning vision problems, like blurriness, dimness, or even momentary double vision, can be early signs of something deeper. For instance, blood sugar fluctuations, especially in people with diabetes or prediabetes, can affect the shape of the lens in the eye, temporarily distorting vision, especially after a night of fasting. There's also the possibility of cataracts, the clouding of the eye's lens. They tend to develop slowly, so early on, they might only make themselves known in the softer light of early morning, before the day brightens up. And in some rare but serious cases, sudden vision issues could be linked to early stroke symptoms, especially if combined with dizziness, numbness, or difficulty speaking. These are not things to guess about. These are signs that deserve attention. But here's the problem. Most people wait. They wait until they're bumping into furniture. Until they can't read the morning paper. Until they're straining to see the coffee cup right in front of them. Because they assume it's just sleep in the eyes. Or age. Or, I just need new glasses. And while sometimes it is minor, Ignoring the early whispers of vision changes can lead to bigger problems later on. So, what can you do? Start simple. Make sure your morning environment is well lit, especially during fall and winter months when daylight is limited. Give your eyes a few minutes to adjust before jumping out of bed. If you stand too quickly and feel dizzy or your vision blacks out, it might be related to blood pressure or hydration. Schedule regular eye exams, even if your prescription hasn't changed in years. Many serious eye conditions have no pain and very few symptoms, until it's too late. An annual visit can catch issues early, when they're still manageable. And most importantly, pay attention to the patterns. Is it happening every morning? Is the blurriness lasting longer than it used to? Are you noticing changes in color, clarity, or sharpness? These tiny details could be your eyes quietly asking for help. Because vision isn't just about seeing clearly, it's about safety, confidence, and quality of life. And when you start your day with unclear vision, it affects how you move, how you feel, and how you connect with the world. So no, it's not just blurry eyes. It might be your body's way of saying, I need you to notice me. These 5 morning symptoms might seem small. A little confusion. A quiet mood. Stiff joints. Heavy fatigue. Blurry vision. But they're not just random morning quirks. They're subtle messages. Your body's gentle way of waving a red flag, not yelling, just whispering. And those whispers matter. Because the body is often at its most vulnerable right after waking up, when the systems restart, when the mind and muscles reconnect. This is when things show up. This is when early signs have their best chance of being noticed. And if you catch them early, you give yourself, or someone you love, a real chance to act before something more serious develops. So, let's not ignore those quiet changes anymore. Let's not wait for them to become loud cries for help. Because noticing a small symptom today could protect a life tomorrow. It's not easy, seeing these kinds of changes in yourself, or in someone you love. Maybe it starts with a quiet morning. A confused glance at the calendar. A missed step. A deeper sigh before getting out of bed. They seem small at first. But somewhere deep down, you feel it. Something's different. And that's a hard place to be. Because these signs, these subtle shifts, they aren't just about health. They're about memories, routines. The person you once were, or the person you've always known. It can feel like time is quietly slipping through your fingers. And no one really prepares you for that. Not the books. Not the doctors. Not even the well-meaning friends who say, it's just part of getting older. But you know better. You can feel when something's not quite right. And here's the thing, that doesn't have to be a source of fear. Knowing what to look for doesn't mean you need to panic. It means you're prepared. It means you care. And caring, real, deep, active caring, means noticing these early signs before they become emergencies. It means asking, hey, have you felt more tired lately in the mornings? Have you noticed your eyes being a bit foggy when you wake up? Do you feel different when you get out of bed these days? Simple questions. But they can open the door to real answers. To peace of mind. To early care, instead of last-minute reactions. So, if even one of these signs feels familiar to you, if your gut is whispering, maybe this matters. Don't ignore it. You don't need to fix everything today. But maybe, you call your doctor. Maybe you start a journal. Maybe you simply talk to someone you trust about what you're seeing. That one step, that one small moment of awareness, can lead to healing. To clarity. To a life that continues with dignity, safety, and connection. You're not alone in this. Many families are going through the same thing. Feeling the same confusion. Watching the same small changes, wondering what to do. And that's okay. Because what truly matters, what truly protects those we love, isn't having all the answers. It's having the heart to look closely, to listen carefully, to respond with love and wisdom. That's what you're doing right now. You're showing up. You're learning. You're choosing awareness over avoidance. And that choice, that one choice, can mean the difference between suffering in silence and living these later years with grace, dignity, and the comfort of knowing someone is paying attention. So, keep listening. Keep noticing. Keep caring. Because you are the difference someone else might be waiting for. And if this is about you, your own mornings, your own signs, you deserve that same gentle care. You matter. Your health matters. Your mornings matter. And it's never too late to take the first step. So, let's take a moment and gently go back over what we've uncovered together today. We talked about 5 subtle morning symptoms. Not loud, not obvious, but important. Things that whisper, before they ever scream. We began with morning confusion or disorientation. That moment when the day begins, and something just feels off. A forgotten name, a misplaced item, a moment of, where am I? These aren't just sleepy slips. Sometimes, they're early clues. Then we move to mood changes or quiet withdrawal. Maybe it's silence replacing a morning greeting. Or a stare at the wall instead of breakfast conversation. It might seem like nothing, but it's worth a second look. Next came stiffness or trouble getting out of bed. That rusty feeling in the joints. The struggle to stand. It's more than just getting older. It could be arthritis, circulation issues, or something deeper. And then we explored persistent morning fatigue. You slept, but you wake up tired. Not a little tired, drained. That kind of exhaustion might be more than poor sleep, it could be your body trying to tell you something's not right. And finally, blurry or dim morning vision. The world looks foggy. The letters on the newspaper don't quite line up. It clears up later, but in that early moment, your eyes might be signaling a bigger issue, from blood sugar swings to something more serious. These 5 signs, confusion, mood changes, stiffness, fatigue, and blurry vision, they may seem small. They may come quietly. But they deserve your attention. Because the earlier we notice, the sooner we can act. And now I want to hear from you. Have you, or someone you care about, experienced any of these in the mornings? Has something ever felt a little off, but you didn't know whether it mattered? Go ahead and share in the comments. You'd be surprised how many people are going through the same thing, feeling the same uncertainty. And when we talk about it, we learn together. And if this video helped you see things a little differently, if something here clicked or made you pause, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. This is a space for people who care. People who want to stay informed. People who believe that aging doesn't have to mean guessing in the dark. We're here to shine a light, gently, kindly, and with purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me today. For listening, reflecting, and being part of something that truly matters. Remember, stay strong. Stay curious. And always, always listen to what your body, or the body of someone you love, is quietly trying to say. You're doing better than you think. And I'll see you in the next video.